Good morning. Welcome to the Long Live Alternative Parties podcast. Free Press Media Press Inc., an alternative parties books publisher, sponsors this podcast. I'm Andrew Bouchard.
Welcome to Long Live Alternative Parties podcast. Today, friends, we have another exciting guest on the podcast. He's an individual who's running for office. We love to have people running for office on our podcast. His name is Nolan Schmidt, and in a moment, I'm going to have him tell you what office he's running for. So, welcome to the podcast, Nolan.
Thanks for having me.
Nolan, first things first, if we get started by you giving us, our audience, the office you're running for and the party you represent.
So I'm currently running for Guadalupe County Commissioner, Precinct 1. I'm currently running as the Libertarian, I'm running for the Libertarian Party, which so far is like I'm the only person running under the party, which so far the county party actually has support for me since my run for county judge in 2 years ago.
Oh wow, cool! That sounds like a good race.
Yeah, because I know this year is going to be a little bit challenging, a little bit more challenging because the county judge race was only two people running, me and the current county judge, Kyle Kitchener. But I know looking at the records of all the filing this time, it looks like it's going to be a 3-person race instead of a 2-person race.
Oh wow! So when you ran for judge, do they require a law degree in Texas?
No, it's pretty much like the county judge for the commissioner's court, so you don't have to have a law degree. It's
okay.
It's only the county judge at law that they have here that requires that law degree.
Okay, so commissioner's court, how is that different than judge we typically think of?
Well, so pretty much with commissioner's court, it's kind of like, where you have like at the local level where you have like the mayor and city council. It's kind of like that, but instead of being focused on city, it's focused on like everything with the whole county instead.
Okay.
And that each commissioner, which there's a total of 4 here in Guadalupe County, they all represent a precinct. Precinct 1 being one of the biggest precincts besides Precinct 4.
Okay.
We got, yeah, because Precinct 1, it was for a long time. It's been the commissioner was Fred Seidenberger, but he announced that he wasn't running for another term. I think more likely the focus for his retirement. So this one's pretty much an open race without any incumbents in the race.
Okay. That might be a good opportunity then. So kindly tell our audience how you got involved with the Libertarian Party in the first place. What life circumstances led you to the Libertarian Party?
So, long ago, I used to be a supporter of the Democratic Party, but as time went by, I tend to fall out of it with some of the views, and got to realizing that there was no difference between a Democrat and Republican when it came to what they support and everything else, especially when it comes to wars and everything else. Because
sure.
my final the straw that broke the camel's back for me was when the Obama administration had the release of using drones on, especially to spy on our allies and everything else. So I left the Democratic Party, and then I became friends in college with a good friend of mine who's still good friends with me today. He actually was a former Republican that turned to support the Libertarian Party, which after looking into the Libertarian Party and everything else, I found that the views of the Libertarian Party were more closer to mine. And so in March of 2013, I ended up joining the Libertarian Party, and then I didn't join the local level until 2016 when Gary Johnson was running for president for the second time, and soon after the county chair at the time, Ross Leone III, stepped down. I was the only officer left, so because I was public relations, so I went to being county chair for a little while until finally I decided to focus on running for the state Libertarian Executive Committee here in Texas. So a good friend of mine and still the county chair, Darren Pollock, he took over and has done an amazing job with that. And currently I'm serving as vice chair of the Guadalupe County Libertarian Party, as well as serving my second term for the LP Texas Select Committee and all that stuff.
What's the committee called?
It's the State Libertarian Executive Committee. It's pretty much members that represent like the Senate districts. They all meet up like once every quarter to discuss business about the state party and everything else.
Okay. So, for our audience, can you please describe the demographics of your area? I'm from Texas, and yet I don't know all the different areas in Texas. So, I bet our audience who may not be in Texas may not be familiar with all areas. So kindly describe your area, the demographics to our audience.
So, Guadalupe County, it's actually east of the San Antonio area. It's a very small rural county. The only areas that are pretty city-like are the Cibolo and Schertz area, as well as Seguin, which that's actually where I'm from. But the city of Seguin is more like a city town. It's much smaller. But the rest of the area, where it's like you have towns like Marion, you also have the incorporated areas like Kingsbury and everything else. It's very, very, very rural area.
Okay.
There's more farmers and ranchers out in this area than big cities and everything else. Okay.
So is the area, is it mostly white or is there some diversity?
There is diversity. Pretty much there's a good amount of both white and the Hispanic community, as well as African American. But of course there's a lot. There's still a bit more of a white demographic, but there's been a growth of the Hispanic community throughout the years.
Okay, that's good. So sometimes we tend to think of rural areas as not being diverse. So it's good that's getting diverse. So that's good. It's good to hear.
Mm-hmm.
So kindly tell our audience what your platform is for this race. What do you seek to accomplish in this race?
So I have on my platform, the first one is I as a county commissioner, one of my goals is to lower property taxes even more. Because I'm that firm believer of not using any type of coercion. So I want to limit down a lot of taxes possible to make, as well as figure out a way to convince school districts to lower school taxes as well, by using a conservative and voluntarism system where a lot of the where projects are funded not through taxes but through a voluntary effort of donation instead.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Isn't voluntary taxes an oxymoron?
What was the question again?
Isn't voluntary taxes an oxymoron?
I don't plan on using taxes, more like because especially in our day, my plans are not with taxes but with just more like because looking at today's times, we have like crowdfunding nowadays, where it's like if a person supports the program, where a person supports something, they can put as much money as they want into said project or product.
Okay.
And
so you're thinking of doing that for government, doing the government fundraise that way?
Yes.
Interesting. I haven't heard anything quite like that.
And if it doesn't meet its goal, the project doesn't get funded. The project doesn't happen or anything like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I want to encourage that system instead of having like taxation through property taxes, and especially having to fight with the appraisal offices on especially them determining property value to base all that stuff on our taxes and stuff.
Sure, that sounds good. So what else do you seek to accomplish in this area?
So another stance I'm taking on this is protections of small businesses.
Oh, good.
This is something I'm actually carrying on from my county judge race, because originally when I ran for county judge, seeing the what has happened with the pandemic, where there was a lot of small businesses that got affected by it, especially seeing my own parents' small business suffer through having to deal with them dealing with a lot of debt to the point where they had to sell their business.
Oh no.
They originally owned an RV park, and when they had the federal mandate where rent could not be collected and everything else, it really affected them because they had to pull money out of their savings just to pay the bills. And what's worse was it gave some of the tenants an excuse to start doing damages to the property, and even having the environmental health department come and pretty much harass my parents.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and which my parents had to use the legal route with a lawyer to try to take care of the problems, which it cost them a lot more because they were barely making much of an income because of what was going on. So I got involved with finally saying, enough's enough. This should not even happen, especially in a so-called conservative county. And I ended up running for county judge with one of my biggest stances being the protection of small businesses from government coercion.
Okay, so you want to continue that in this race?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay, sounds good. Small businesses are great, so we need protection, so that sounds good.
Yeah, because one of my biggest beliefs is that in Guadalupe County, small businesses are a big cornerstone here, especially in Seguin and Marion. They have like long time businesses that are still around today, and the last thing I ever want to see if another pandemic like the one that happened with COVID-19 happens again is to see those businesses go through that again.
Yes. 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 So it doesn't sound like people will be too thrilled about another lockdown. So I'm sure they'll like what you have to say.
Yeah, and then the last little part of my platform is actually something that means a lot to me, especially as a special needs advocate.
Okay.
I have what's called a Opportunity for All program, which helps out the special needs community without the need of any sort of tax spending at all.
Okay. Okay, that's something innovative.
Yeah, because I know in the recent years, the Commissioner's Court has recognized like Autism Awareness Month and everything else, but I feel that the county can do a lot more by getting involved with organizing with nonprofit organizations to try to create an outreach program for parents who have children with special needs or adults with special needs to kind of like get in contact with, because there's some people who may have a family member with special needs that may not know may need assistance or help with whatever they need for their special needs relative. So, I've actually been involved with two different nonprofits, the Seguin Autism Support Group and the Special Kids with Special Needs, for the past couple of years, we've been trying to create more outreach within Guadalupe County, and I think with Guadalupe County, the government of Guadalupe County getting together with the nonprofits to create an outreach program, which like they can have like something on the website that has that outreach, has like an outreach database of like links to these organizations, how to contact them, and who they help, would be a big win situation for the community there.
Okay.
And then another one is I know that there's also special needs adults who are looking for employment. Sometimes finding employment could be a little bit hard. So I would also want to encourage a campaign for especially small businesses or any business at whole here in Guadalupe County to hire special needs adults for since special needs adults, they're very reliable at what they do. They're very dedicated to wanting to do something that they would want to do. Plus, under the Americans with Disabilities Act, what I found out from another advocate friend of mine is that businesses can get tax cuts through having special needs employees. So it'd be like a win-win situation.
Yeah.
Win-win situation on both sides.
Yep. Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
So, like the employees would have a job that they wouldn't want to work for, and the employers will have dedicated employees willing to work to also help them get that tax cut as well.
Yep.
It's like it would be something awesome to just encourage a campaign like that without having to use any type of funds at all. Like it'd be like public information would be out there for sure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That sounds good. It doesn't sound to me that enough people in political office are doing stuff for the special needs community, so it's good that you want to do that.
Yeah, because I have like several close friends that I work with outside my job, which we went and did like volunteer work and even gone so far to make our create our own like small film company to make our own film projects.
Oh.
And a lot of them are so dedicated to those projects. Like we've already created like a good handful of short films that's been in like film festivals across the globe. Some of them won like special awards here and there from a couple of these festivals.
Well, that's good. Yeah, that's good. So that sounds like you got a good set of issues for your campaign.
Yeah.
So, no, I'm sorry, I cut you off. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's like those were like, because I feel like that three focus issues on, because I know I did that last time with my county judge race. I felt like 3 would be the same magic number to use this time around again.
Yes. It's concise and it's poignant, so that's good. It's focused. So, Nolan, how can our audience support your campaign?
So far, I do have my Facebook page, which is Nolan Schmidt for Guadalupe County Commissioner Precinct 1.
Okay.
That's where I put up updates here and there. And then there's my website, www.nolanhenryschmidt.com, where I have information on my campaign as well as a link to donate, where people can donate, either make a one-time donation or even make a recurring donation that occurs monthly.
Okay.
And I made these where you can use a card, you can use bank, PayPal, most of that stuff. Because I know I already had like a couple of donations by a couple of my friends at LP Texas, and I even have like one recurring monthly donation, which has helped me a little bit. But I know my plan, hopefully, to try to put in more outreach of my campaign a little bit more, is I'm hoping to try to get more media-based advertisements, like ads in the paper, even do radio ads, to try to get that more outreach out there. And I know it's not cheap, and the campaign's pretty small.
Yeah.
It's only just me and a couple of people so far.
Sure. So whatever people can give you go a long ways with your campaign.
Oh, yes.
Good. Nolan, we thank you for coming on the podcast today and talking about your campaign.
Thank you very much for having me.
We wish you all the best in your campaign and also everything else you do in your personal and professional life.
Thank you.
Take care and all the best.